off now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're good.
Yay.
Are we live?
We are live.
It says we're live.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Gun Nation.
Hello, everybody.
What's going on?
Sweet.
All right, let's see. All right. Trying to get all my stuff organized here. It's a little more difficult for me.
Yeah, we got the good usual people on. Here comes some more. All right. Hello, everyone. How are y'all?
Thanks,
Firearms 101 sent you a PM, KS.
I'll take a look at that.
They don't send me crap.
Yeah, you suck.
It's because I don't know anything.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Hello, Mile High. It's been good to be back. I haven't been on these for a while. Frank Hellman, thank you. It is a nice background. I do like it. Very nice. Very patriotic.
He just finished painting it.
Yeah, I just painted, man. This took me. The reason why I haven't been on the chat was because I was painting this wall.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised what you guys can do with crayons, man.
There you go.
Impressive.
I thought it was finger painting.
It started that way. Then it just got too messy, so I went with the crayon route.
Yeah, music says it looks like a bunker. That's what I said.
Yeah, it is a bunker.
He's in his cubicle. Got Razor on. Yeah, we got a bunch of good people on.
Yeah, Frank is saying I'm a Rembrandt.
Yeah, in his own mind.
That's right.
All right, we'll let everybody jump in here. So what would y'all like to chat about tonight?
I think it's just open game tonight. I got nothing specific. I do have a couple of questions to ask you fellers on the panel, and
Okay.
the other folks can chime in at any time, obviously. It'll just cost you guys $20 in super chats.
Right.
If you want us to answer any of your questions tonight, it's super chat only. And we're going to donate the proceeds to my personal bank account. And so I hope you're all down for that.
That is a good deal for everybody.
Listen, that's a great charity. It's a great charity. So anyway, why don't we, how many we got in here right now?
30.
30?
30.
30.
Oh, that's all right. It says 30 viewers. So why don't we start with the first question I have for you? And this was something that I've been sort of thinking about and contemplating in my time away from YouTube. So I was going through my safe the other night, and I was starting to look at all the guns that I own. And then a question dawned on me, like a light bulb, like that. And basically, I want to know what your input is or your insight, if you have any, on do you think at some point when you buy so many firearms, you're actually not buying them to shoot them, and you're just buying them to have them? And then on top of that, do you think that sometimes it creates a certain amount of like almost like gluttony or bloat in regards to what you own? You know, oh, $2. See what happens when you guys beg? Damn, it works. Now just times that, by at least, 10. That would be great.
No e-begging.
Yeah, no e-begging here. But, thank you, N. Federico. I appreciate the $2. Hello to you. And no, you don't have to do any super chats, guys. We're going to say hello to everybody. But I'd like to hear what you guys have to think about it, what people out there who are watching this. I mean, do you get to a certain point where the guns that you have, you just have too many and it becomes bloat? Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, you can't have too many. But I mean, let's be honest. You can only shoot so many. You can only really give it a really good, solid go around with only so many guns. And then on top of that, I mean, you can't rotate them all. You can't carry them all. So, I mean, sometimes is it better to have that many or to kind of slim it down to a set platform that you practice with, that you perfect with? I'm just curious what you guys think about that.
Go ahead, KS.
I sit on both sides of the fence on that. There are times where I look at the guns that I have. That's a serious echo going on there. I look at the guns that I have and I think, God, what am I going to do with all these? Now, I try and shoot all my guns. I don't carry them all. You guys know that. But I try and enjoy them all. But when you get to a place where you have so many, and obviously defining so many is very difficult. It's different for all of us. But let's say, I'll throw out even a dozen guns. Let's say a dozen handguns, 12 handguns. how often are you going to get to the range and shoot all of them, or shoot all of them with quality? And I'm talking, 200, 300, 400 rounds, whatever it happens to be. So that can be very hard to do. However, there's also the collector side, or there's the I really want to have side, because we all want to have stuff, right? It's part of who we are. We like the tangible things, and we're a little bit materialistic, some more than others perhaps, but it's kind of fun to also look at the safe or look at your collection and go, God, I have that, and I have that, and I have that, and this is freaking awesome. So I don't know a good answer for that. I really don't. If I get to a place where I can't shoot all my guns, if I'm not shooting them, if there's something in there that's gathering dust, it's got to go. It's got to go to me.
Well, and I mean, I'm the eldest on the panel, so I've probably been into, and I probably, if I remember correctly, I think I was into guns maybe prior to y'all, but, I'm also a big collector. So, I have some, everything I have, I actually shoot, but it can be over a longer period of time. So I'm a collector, and, I definitely like guns. But yes, it does come to a point where you look at the safes and you're just like, holy crap, what am I doing here? But, I also look at it as, and I've actually had some guns that were handed down, from my grandfather and stuff like that. So, if it's something you're never, ever going to shoot again, I say get rid of it. But it's very hard to do that when you're also a collector too. So, but everybody has different opinions. I know people that have 1 and 2 guns, and that's all they. What? Am I echoing?
There was a minor echo. It's okay.
But I know there's people that have 1 or 2 guns, and that's just what they shoot, and they're happy with that. So, I guess it's different for different people.
Uh-oh, lost the mic.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, and he was all excited about that one was going to work.
Wah, 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 wah. Okay, so
okay, now it's working.
There it is.
So,
okay.
I got to get the mic issue down. This is a pain in my ass. But anyway, I don't know at what point does it get to become too much, and I think for me, it's more or less the idea that, obviously you have guns that you like that you don't want to shoot too much because they become a collector's piece. I mean, let's be honest, they do. If you're into guns, there are some that are just, for whatever reason, you've grown an attachment where it's not the same thing as using a gun that you're going to train with. It's just something that you want to maybe pass it down, whatever. But I've just been thinking lately, man, I have a lot of bloat. I do. And I'm not talking about my gut, but I'm talking more about just what I own. There are certain guns that I absolutely love. And then there are certain guns that I like. And then there are certain guns that I just would never consider ever moving. So I've been looking at things lately, just saying, God, I just have too much. I can't shoot them all. I would tell you though, and I agree with what Harry was saying earlier, that if I had, a free ammo supply, I would not even bring that question up.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when I go to the range, I have to literally think the night before, what guns do I want to shoot? Because I don't have enough ammo to bring everything I want to bring with me. And I think sometimes you're kind of missing out a little bit on, I guess, the perfection side of what you're using, just perfecting the gun, including how you're handling it, shooting it. And, so sometimes I think maybe there's too much out there. There's too much choice. But, it's hard to say because once you start buying them, you get extremely addicted to it. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. And then you make the irrational choices. For example, Walther CCP, that was a total irrational choice. But it was one that I wanted to have because I wanted to see what it was all about. And I was mightily disappointed by that, but I almost got all my money back for selling it. So I can't complain.
Yeah. And that's also a thing, if you can buy them right and, know what you have in them and remember what you have in them, and you can sell them. And especially if it's a collectible to someone else too, I think, it can be a money-making thing also if it's worked correctly.
Right.
Quite a few people have been talking about what they've been doing. I mean, Craig had mentioned he gave away almost his entire collection for 44 firearms. That's incredible. And whittled it down to 1 rifle and 1 pistol. I mean, that's really commendable. I mean, you get back a lot of, maybe not all your money, but a lot of resources back to invest in other things in your life, whatever it happens to be. Some people it might be more ammo, more training, but other people it might be a new lawnmower or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So it could be anything. I mean, I carry my revolver. He says I kind of get frustrated looking at my guns because I carry 90% of the time, and a lot of people I think are like that. Razor got rid of a lot of his as well. I mean, I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Well, Compton Terry has a question. Where do you guys sell your guns?
My trunk.
In a dark alley?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, sometimes you get lucky on Arms List. I'll tell you, on Arms List, a lot of times you're going to get a lot of scammers. Hey, I'm a sheriff's deputy or a police officer. I'll send you the money, and then a moving van will pick it up. It's one of those stupid things. But Gunbroker obviously is a great choice. Sometimes you do pay. Obviously, you do pay a fee if you sell it. But if you put in if you really invest maybe like $5, $6 through Gunbroker. I've had a lot of success on Gunbroker of selling things that I've owned and have gotten almost all of my money back. You're never going to get your money back, whatever you put out. And a lot of times, even the options that you throw in a gun, you're not going to recover those costs. But you do the best you can. You try to come as close as possible. And if it's a loss that you can kind of swallow, then you do it.
What about you, KS?
Sorry, say it again. I was reading comments.
Where do you sell your guns?
Arms List, generally speaking, and I have found that to be true as well. There's a lot of scam out there, so you have to weed through a lot of stuff. So I'm probably going to be getting away from that, and going the route of either trading or FFL, or in some cases, depending on what it is. And I'm going to try not to really sell any guns anymore, but maybe even trading in, which is a huge loss, and that's always a gut check right there. But hopefully teaches you a lesson to try and hold on to things a little bit more.
I've had really good luck at gun shows. What I'll do prior to the gun show is I'll actually write up a bill of sale with the serial number and everything on there. Of course, my name, and that's, I'll just put my name, and I keep all of it, but I'll, get a copy of their CHL or write their numbers down, and I'll do it that way. So I can see the person, I know that I've verified a CHL. And if they don't have it, and in Texas, it doesn't require it, but I'll at least get their driver's license. But I just won't say, here, give me money, here's the gun. I just don't do it that way. And I've had really, really great luck at gun shows.
So I got a question for you guys also, and it kind of stems from one of the people who've been watching. I can't remember who said it, but it kind of brought something to my attention in regards to platforms. And I think it was, God, who said it? Something about platforms. But it's about platforms. One of the things that I was thinking of, if you could only have, because sometimes you ask obviously about the guns, if you could only have one gun and one rifle. So my question would be, if you had to choose one platform for handguns, what platform would you choose?
I would go double action, single action personally.
All right. So let me be a little more specific, not platform in regards to double or striker. I'm talking about brand.
Oh, CZ for me.
I've been thinking about that a little bit, and I've got an okay assortment of firearms, but I've started to really hone in on a couple of brands, CZ and SIG, more than anything else. I've thoroughly enjoyed both. I mean, I've got some Smith & Wessons and Glock and that sort of thing, but if I had to choose, mainly because of the striker fire choices, I'd probably go SIG.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, if I had to choose two platforms as it stands right now, man, that's a tough choice because, I have a lot of guns that I really enjoy shooting. I think for me, the CZ platform, but in the smaller versions, obviously not the full size, because I do like the P01s, the PCR, that type. And I think maybe the second choice, it's close. It's a close tie. It's almost a tie, really, between Steyr and Smith & Wesson. But I think I would lean more towards the Smith & Wesson, not because necessarily it's a better gun. It just has a lot more aftermarket support, has, more, I guess you could say, frequency of being out there in the world as opposed to a Steyr. But I would probably pick the Smith and the CZ.
Razor picked two awesome ones. He's got the High Point or the Sky.
Nice.
Yeah, those are
He's the
good,
winner.
man. You know, you can use as a gun and a hammer. So that's good.
Yeah, and I've got a question, for you guys. And I was kind of chatting with music, and I brought this up before, but if you had your choice, say you could choose, and I know we're kind of in some of our areas we don't have like what Pops has and stuff like that, but would y'all like would you choose an indoor or an outdoor range if you had your choice?
If I had my choice, it'd be outdoor. I would absolutely love to be able to shoot outdoors, although in the winter it would be more of a pain in the ass. But I've been shooting indoor ranges basically my entire life, with the exception of shotguns, and so I'm kind of used to it. And they're generally fine as long as they're clean and well maintained. The only time it's frustrating is when somebody's shooting a cannon right next to you, because that sound gets into your booth. And there have been times where I literally have had to stop shooting and just leave the whatever, the booth or whatever you want to say, and just step back and watch them shoot for a while, then go back to shooting, because it really is painful.
Yeah. What about you, 17?
I mean, for me, I would probably look at.
Oh, you got two mics going,
Oh, do I?
or something going on.
Hold on. Is that better?
Talk.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I put my headphones on because people have been complaining that I'm throwing echo, and I am. So I have the headphones in, but it also has a mic. But one of the things that I would say for me personally, there's really no place around here unless you join a club. And, some of the clubs have waiting lists for years, like literally years to get in. And the one I was at had a decent outdoor area. But their indoor/outdoor was absolute dog crap. It was terrible. So I left that club. And then places that I shoot in inside here, you guys see the one I usually shoot at, and it's a friggin' dungeon.
Yeah.
And
it looks like it looks like an asbestos factory.
Yeah, it's actually the movie set from Silence of the Lambs. And,
yeah, there's lava beans.
Put the oil on the whatever it was.
Yeah, lotion on the skin.
Lotion on the skin.
Yeah, and I would definitely prefer an outdoor too, but we are, depending on our areas. But since we all are kind of stuck with some indoor, what are the things that you hate about indoor ranges? And I, of course, heard KS, but like if you had to pick a couple, what's the craziest thing? Let's just put it this way. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you at an indoor range? Man, I mean, nothing as crazy as has happened to me personally. I do get a little concerned when I'm shooting at the dungeon and there are bullet holes in the separators or whatever you want to call them. Yeah. I mean, sometimes there's friggin' bullet holes on the side, and I'm like, what the hell, Sometimes you get people who shoot too high, so they hit the steel bar on the top, and all you hear is ching, and you're like, Jesus, really? Lately, there have been guys who go into the indoor range and shoot shotguns. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you guys are about, but to me, an indoor range is not for a shotgun. I think even if you want to shoot, a rifle, carbine, whatever, and it allows that for the distance, I'd accept that. But a goddamn shotgun at an indoor range, I mean, that's just pathetic.
Well, most won't allow birdshot and that sort of thing. It's only slugs.
Yeah. Right. And then all you hear them do is, and they're like, yeah, it's like, dude, it's
they're shooting a paper target with a slug. They're just blowing freaking big ass holes in paper. And
it's usually guys who go in there who don't have handgun licenses, because that's all they can shoot. So, other than that, I mean, it's always been pretty good. I mean, sometimes you get some off-duty law enforcement. There was a guy there once who I started talking to, a real nice guy. Excellent shot. I mean, just amazing. So he gave me some tips, and I appreciated that, because, you can always learn how to shoot better.
Learn every day.
And when, he kind of gave me some tips, I took them to heart, man. And he was right. A lot of his tips were absolutely on point. So, for me, I go there to shoot, but I do like to have people around me who also like to shoot and also enjoy firearms. So for me, I don't really have any crazy experiences or really any major complaints about it.
Yeah.
I generally have really good experiences at Centerfire. It's a great mom and pop shop, and a lot of people know each other, and they're generally very courteous of each other, or at least they smile and stay out of each other's way. Nobody's a dick, and I rarely ever pick up on that somebody's some sort of showboat. That is extremely rare, because nobody around there really is. I mean, there isn't anybody that's hardcore shooting. I mean, we've got one female professional shooter that shoots there from time to time, but she also doesn't act like that. But no, for me, it's, you know, it's occasionally the person that doesn't really know what they're doing. And although the range officer has been with them and met with them and all that kind of stuff, you know, sometimes if the place is busy and we've got 16 lanes center fire, they aren't always monitored as closely as maybe, you know, it would be nice if they could, and they'll get a little bit out of control. You'll see somebody, you know, you can shoot as fast as you want at center fire, which is fantastic. But the rule really is it has to be controlled fire. You have to know what you're doing. You have to hit the target. It could be anywhere on the target, but you got to hit the target, right?
Yeah. Well, no, your place is really nice.
I'd say we got fortunate. We got really lucky. I've got a couple of nice ranges around here, but you'll occasionally see some guys that are just dicking around, and they're getting kind of stupid and that sort of thing. And there have been a couple of times where either me or somebody else on the line has had to kind of jump in and say, hey, you know, put the gun down. Let's start from scratch here, because it's to a point where it's not safe anymore. And you just have to, jump in. I mean, it's a gun. I don't really care if I look like an asshole when I'm jumping in, but it's, hey, listen, you know, somebody could get hurt. You're being a dick. Let's stop. Let's calm down and dial it down a notch.
Yeah, have had a couple of situations, and they weren't super bad, but I was I was filming a video, and it's on video. I can't remember which one it's on, but it's on one of my videos. I'm sitting there shooting, and I've got it out like 15 yards, and I'm shooting, and a guy next to me freaking bust out a Mosin Nagant in an indoor range, and it's like kaboom, and I mean the brass is flying over the wall and hitting the opposite wall. So I've had that happen, and then I've had my target out, and the person next to me, I guess it was a dad and a daughter, and the dad was teaching the daughter how to shoot, and I was looking at my target, and my target would go.
Oh yeah.
And this is on video too. And then I pull my target back in, and there's 22 bullet holes in my target when I'm shooting a 9mm. So I'm like, okay, she's shooting my target, which, you know, I wasn't upset about it. And the guy was like, I'll buy you another target. And I was like, don't even worry about it. But,
buy you another target. Just be glad she didn't shoot you in the ass.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was downrange, but you know, and everybody's got to start somewhere. So I was perfectly fine with it. If it would have been somebody over there goofing around or being an asshole, then that would have been a different deal. But, and of course I hate the freaking Ranger Rick, you know, hell, I've got him on some videos where he's coming up, you're shooting too fast, you know, and giving me all that bullshit, you know, and then he says, you can't do rapid fire because it intimidates the other shooters. And I'm like, well, then they need to learn how to shoot.
Or not shoot at all.
Yeah. It's not my fault.
Yeah, there's got to be a good balance between, but like some people were talking about rule Nazis, like Mil-Spec guy was talking about rule Nazis and that sort of thing. And the range that I started shooting at many years ago, and it still exists. I'm not terribly fond of it anymore, but you know, they had a 1 shot per second rule, and a lot of other rules alongside that. I mean, they were very hardcore, and I like rules. Rules are good. Rules keep you safe, generally speaking, but there's got to be a little bit of variance there, so people with higher skill levels can enjoy that, and keep honing their skills rather than being held back. First time I got to center fire and got to be able to shoot a little bit faster, it was an eye-opening experience.
Yeah. No, I was like, when I went to your place, I was like, what? We can actually shoot as fast as we want. So I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, like I said, that one time when I went to the different range by me, you know, you can only load 5 rounds at a time. And
you can't video. And you said they also
he also told me to put my phone away and shit. So I was like, wow, you know, they were pretty. I mean, he was a nice guy. He was nice about it, and you know, he's an older guy, older vet, you know, and I respect that, you know, no problem. But after shooting, I felt like I had a decent day shooting, but then I thought about it. And I said it just wasn't enough to get into a rhythm. You know, when you have 5 rounds and you got to put another magazine, then reload every 10 rounds. You know, I mean, it's sometimes I can take 5 mags with me and they carry 10 apiece. So that's 50 rounds in a row. It was horrible. It was a bad experience, but a great range. It was beautiful.
Yeah, Steve is bringing up a good point. You know, he said his big complaint is guns being moved in and out of the little stalls. You know, I've seen people like just take a gun and they're freaking pistol waving everybody, and they're like trying to put it in their bag. And I'm like, whoa, 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 hey, you know, because they're not staying in their little thing,
Right.
you know. And there's a lot of them where they have, you know, they'll have to unload their guns there and then bring their bag up to there, but people forget that. They'll
Right.
keep their bag on the floor and then just start moving. Freaking, they won't even have them open. You know, it just goes back to knowing what the hell you're doing.
Now, Mateo brings up a good point. He's saying that he has a complaint that, you know, the people in the stall muzzling you with a loaded firearm. So I wonder if it would be better if these ranges had clear, like, plexiglass or something in between, so that you can kind of keep an eye on your neighbor and make sure they're not doing stupid stuff like that.
You know, like bulletproof glass between
Right.
them or something. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But of course, that would drive the cost up, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
it would absolutely drive the cost up. This kind of changes the topic a little bit, although it's a really good topic and we don't talk about ranges as much. I carry my revolver in single action. I was asking, is the Facebook situation going to affect YouTube channels in a good way? He says, I've been hearing people say that it may. And I'm assuming you're talking about some of the privacy things that are going on with Facebook, but I'm trying to draw a correlation between that and YouTube channels. Do you guys? I would want to know a little bit more about that.
Well, I think maybe in the fact that it kind of exposes the underhanded kind of techniques that companies like Facebook and Google use. Although I don't think it's going to get much traction, because, I mean, I was just reading an article today that the next election in 2020 is going to be absolutely a bust for the conservatives, because I don't know, they did some sort of survey about the next generation of kids who are going to be voting. And so far they're saying the Dems outnumber the Republicans 2-1. And so that's a little bit disconcerting in regards to where's that going to take us. But getting back to what you said, you know, could it expose the fact that, you know, obviously you have people who are doing underhanded things? I think that's already been exposed, but we haven't seen really any change.
Yeah. I mean, say hell, we saw that with Hillary, but nothing
Right.
happened there. You know?
Right,
I mean,
right.
that was a big freaking joke.
Oh, they're too busy worried about Trump and the stripper, you know, so that's more important.
Exactly. But okay, let's talk about some guns. I know people want to probably get on guns, and I know that, you know, we've talked about this before, but is there anything out there, such as, you know, yourselves, that you're maybe looking at, or that you've already got, or that you're wanting, or any of that, or that you're thinking about getting?
Nope. There's no, I mean, what's out there? What has changed since a week ago? I mean, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing.
I was just thinking, is anybody, you know, particularly thinking about maybe picking up another AR, or, you know, just because of all this, you know, stuff where they're saying, you know, like with MASH, you know, where they're doing that, if it's grandfathered in, you already have it. But, you know, just anything like that where somebody's thinking about grabbing one of those, or grabbing something.
You know, I don't know. I mean, for me, it's not going to happen, but I don't know. I think people have been doing that already. You know, I think they started doing that when there was a concern Hillary was going to be president. And then that kind of died off, you know.
There's even been talks, you know, in your area about ammo, you know, so have you been loading up on more ammo?
I've heard nothing about any ammo restrictions at all.
Well, remember, it came up a long time ago and we kind of talked about it. I didn't know if it went any farther.
No, they had proposed something like that, but it was killed. It was killed in the Senate. The Republicans said, nope, not happening. So at least they finally had some balls for that, you know?
Yeah, Kevin said we're done with the gun chat. You guys have all the guns there are. No, we don't have all the guns they are. Trust me, there's other ones I would definitely love to have.
Although I will tell you, if you guys are interested in a full FDE APX, Prepper's Gun Shop has them on sale for $439 right now. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And they've got that mag deal going.
Yeah, 5 mags, man. So that's a sweet deal right there.
Yeah,
it is.
Yes, it is. And I was going to say, Beretta mags are not cheap either. Last I checked, I know when that gun came out, they were like, and that was at the peak, but they were like $54 a piece. I'm sure they've came down since, but.
Hey, real quick, Young Guns got the new P10 with the white slide or the nitron slide or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, the titanium thing.
Yeah, Young Guns, you'll have to send me a picture or two of that, man. I'd love to see that. Text me later.
Huh. Yeah, I saw a picture of it, just but I haven't seen one personally or that someone's already gotten.
So I carry my revolver, saying that Vermont jumped on the anti-gun bandwagon. That's pretty sad if even Vermont has gone that way.
Yeah.
Frank's asking me, when do I get back to my Scorpion? I don't know what he means by that. It hasn't gone anywhere.
When do you make another video on it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I actually already made one, but I just haven't put it out yet. So I'll throw that out probably pretty soon. But yeah, no, I still love it. So, and I've had absolutely no problems with it. So I would highly recommend it if anybody's thinking of getting a Scorpion. It's a lot of fun.
What do you guys think about the Shield 380 already having a recall for the safety?
Huh, I hadn't heard that yet.
Yeah, neither.
Yeah, the thumb safety, when it gets shot, I guess apparently the thumb safety, I think, either actuates or doesn't. I can't remember. I read about it, but yeah, they sent out a recall for it already. So
wow.
I mean, honestly, I like it. I think it's a cool gun, but I mean, there's too many safeties on it, and anything mechanical that has too many moving parts, there's always the greater likelihood of something going wrong. And I just hope it's not a bust for them.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that I think the gun's still going to do well for what it is, but I don't think it's a sought after gun for many, many people. I think, when it fits that specific role, those are the people that are just going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, real quickly, Rabbi Jesus is saying, so pistol related, I got a Glock 26 Gen 5, good score, by the way. They're hard to find. And it's unreliable, failures to eject. I emailed Glock 3 days ago and no response. You got to call them. Don't email them. Glock said they're backed up with customer service issues. So does that mean Gen 5 issues for everyone? Well, I would say no. I've heard very few reliability issues with the Gen 5 so far. At least that's with the 19 and 17. 26 is newer, but I haven't really heard of anything. But I would recommend a couple of things. Make sure you're trying all your different magazines. Try different ammo, because sometimes some ejectors can be a little bit finicky depending on the ammo, especially if it's out of spec ammo or lower quality, or like aluminum casing, something like that. But then also take it apart, take the whole slide apart and get the extractor out, the ejector out, whatever, and clean everything really good and make sure there aren't any burrs or anything like that in there. So there are some home remedies you can try before throwing up your hands and sending it back to Glock. I'd give those a whirl first.
Yeah, my Life Choices said that his wife just shot the EZ Shield 380 and she loved it, so they ordered one.
Mm-hmm. So let's see here. It says Big Daddy G just said he just ordered an APX for $469, 9 mags, and an OD green frame. That's a pretty sweet deal too.
Yeah.
I do. I was dry firing it the other day. I still don't really like the gun, but the all FDE one was pretty nice. But I do have FDE issues. I'm not sold on that gun. I wish they would have made a compact version of that, because then I think that would be something worth looking at. But
that slide, for some reason, every time I see that slide, I'm like, man, that's just cool, just because it's so different.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I put it in my hand, I know that they have a large backstrap, I don't know what's on it from the factory, if it's the small or the medium, but every time I hold it in my hand, it literally looks like a high point on the top, and then it looks like a 22 grip on the bottom. And I'm just like, it feels so weird, but I haven't put a large backstrap on it to see if it would even out, so I'm not sure.
The only gun right now that I would consider, and I know this is going to sound crazy, is the 19X.
Yeah.
Not crazy. It's all good, man.
But I've been trying to get Glock to send me a new printout of the Blue Label prices, and I haven't heard anything from them yet.
Well, I mean, and honestly, if I was ever going to get a Glock compact, that's the only one I can fit my hand on. Because the 19, I physically, I would have to cut the everybody says, oh, you can undercut it. Man, I've undercut the hell out of the one that I had, and it was literally like paper thin. That's how undercut it was. I still couldn't get my med on it. So, and I bought them out on a 17 grip. So,
right.
But I think it looks pretty cool. And when I held it and pointed it out, it actually pointed more naturally. I don't know why. I guess maybe because of the bigger grip, but pointed a little more naturally than most of the 19 or regular 19 did for me anyway.
Thank you guys for telling me what the Blue Label is. Appreciate it.
Yeah, they told iCarry is telling you to get a revolver, 1776.
I'm not a revolver guy, but damn it, Nolan is he's getting me convinced to stainless with a nice some dark wooden grips or some shit. But I still just I look at them and I'm like, and then I walk right past them.
So I've been very interested in revolvers. So I've spent some time handling quite a few more Rugers and Smith and Wessons, that sort of thing. As soon as I pick one up, I'm like, it just doesn't feel very good to me. It does not feel very good in my hand, and I know it would take some time, and I'd get used to it, I'm sure. But I don't know. I have a difficult time with that.
Yeah, Rabbi Jesus is saying Blue Label is cop price, right? It's cop price, first responders.
First responders, that type of stuff.
So he probably is wondering why you can get that.
Because I fit one of those criteria.
What's a Schmeiser SLP-9? Mateo is saying something about that. Is that a handgun?
Is that the one from Germany that was never released? I think that's what it is.
Oh.
I think. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that's it's either German or Austrian, and it looked pretty badass, but they never released the gun. It never came stateside, and as far as I know.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know how fast he can type.
Okay. Armsman says he's got Glock 26 problems, Gen 5 issue. Interesting. Let's keep an ear out for that.
Apparently, it's a German 9mm.
Yeah, I know which one he's talking. It's a pretty cool looking gun, man. Really nice. As a matter of fact, I was looking at that and I started, kind of reading about it, and then I realized, it's not coming stateside anytime soon. But it's pretty sweet. It's a pretty sweet looking gun.
Yeah, and Sean is saying, that his cousin has a tiny Smith & Wesson 357 revolver, and it's painful to shoot. He hates it. And yeah, that's funny. Even on I guess medium-sized Smith & Wessons, just their grips. Some of them are kind of small. I mean, they're small for me.
Yeah.
And man, I just get all kinds of teetering. If it doesn't have a big grip on it, it's hard for me to hang on to. So I can imagine a very small one.
All right. So some people are saying that something seems to be wrong with the video. Is anybody else seeing that?
Yeah, I've seen it from Bald, and I think
the video is unavailable. Hang on. Just refresh. Everybody refresh.
Yeah, because I'm saying, it's still saying we're broadcasting.
Yeah. Refresh your video.
Yeah.
Give us a Heidi ho if you can still see us.
Yeah, right.
Let's see.
Malhot 5280 is asking me a question, and this goes to y'all too. Have you shot a shield well with an 8-round mag? I like mine, but I have huge hands. It's a challenge for me. How about you? I mean, I can shoot it with the 8-round mag, but on mine, and you can check out videos on my shield, I do prefer extensions. A +2 or a +1, just to have a little more real estate on it. But I love my shield. I mean, it's a great shooting pistol, and anybody that's thinking of that size. Now, I did, put my hands on the 365, and it's way too tiny for me. Not saying I couldn't shoot it, because I personally haven't yet, but it's very small in my hands. Yeah, some people are saying they have great videos, so I don't know. Maybe who knows what freaking YouTube's doing.
It was Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
I like the shield with the 8-round. I like it with both. I can barely get part of my pinky on there with just the flat. So I think it's comfortable all the way around.
Yeah, I've never shot mine with the flat. I've always taken them off and thrown them in a box. And now I put those, there's extensions made for the 7-rounder, so I put them on those. It's just I think it's a +2. And now I like them. So that's a reason to have more mags.
So just out of curiosity, really quick, Mateo, just type in really quick, where are you finding that? I want to know. And, he's bringing up an interesting gun that a lot of people never heard of. And I think it's pretty sweet as hell, man. If you guys get a chance, check it out. I mean, it's a really nice looking gun. But the one gun that I am super, super hopeful of one day will come out is the Kalashnikov handgun. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it really resembles a Steyr, but just a lot cooler, if that's possible. And they were talking about like the Spetsnaz using it and all this other stuff. But, it never really went anywhere as far as I know. But if you look it up online, the Kalashnikov handgun, it's friggin' phenomenal if they could just get it here.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen either.
Well, that Schmeiser looks really cool. I just looked it up.
Right?
Those pictures are cool looking.
It's pretty sweet. I
Yeah.
told you.
I've never seen one.
You got to check it out.
It actually reminds me of a, I'll say a better looking Glock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
So Mateo's saying Warworks Industries is the exclusive U.S. distributor, which brings me to another question. The Caracol, no idea. No clue where it is. No clue who has it, who's selling it. You know, I don't know. Now Frank is saying I'm a collector. I'm not a collector, man. I like going out of the box when it comes to handguns. You know, that's why when I got the Steyr, no one else, you know, as far as I know, no one else knew anything about those damn guns. There were a few like maybe sporadic videos on YouTube, but nothing concrete. So I just went and bought one because I just thought it's kind of out of the box, man. Why wouldn't you go with something like that? And I haven't been disappointed with it at all.
Whatever happened to the Strike B?
The Strike B, it's no longer the Strike B. It's the what is it? The Archon B.
Yeah, but it's still not out. Remember?
It's still not out, and they were saying it was going to be in March or early April, and now it's already April 11th, and nothing. They've made no announcements, no additional anything. And
just think, dude, they would have still had your money.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and they still have a bunch of other people's money. And the worst part is a lot of people saying, "Oh, you know, I know you guys are going to deliver, blah 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 blah. It's going to be worth the wait." Sorry, fellas, but I think you've been hook, lined, and sunk in that regards. You know, I mean, I could be wrong, but after reading a little bit about it anyway, I still, it's going to have a little bore axis. Yeah, I'm sure it'll have a sweet trigger, but the damn gun is a fat gun. It's a thick gripped gun. And I think a lot of people are under the impression it's like a Glock 19 size. It's not. It's bigger than that. Yeah,
it's 18 rounds. I mean, in a free state, I think 18 plus 1, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, you know, if you get it and it works, great. I'm happy for you, but sorry. Something just smells bad on that whole deal. Yeah,
I think they're probably hurting for money, if the truth be known. Especially, I think, you know, when they change their name, you think about it, you have to have a patent, or, you know, you have to trademark that name.
Right.
And I think the investors probably pulled out of it, and they owned it.
They could trademark it in Europe, but they couldn't trademark it here.
Yeah, but you can't tell me that shouldn't have been worked out prior to all this other bullshit.
Oh, I'm sure it was, but then there was also talk that there was financial problems with the company, and of course that guy Dimitri denied all of it. But
that's what I think.
If you guys have been reading anything about it, Dimitri has sold his portion of ownership to that. So he's not. I don't even think he's involved in that anymore.
Wow. Oh boy. Let's see here. Yeah, Hunts for Food bought him or I guess he checked out the P07. P07 is a great gun.
Get a P01.
Yeah, the P01's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the Omega trigger. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with that.
Hey, I just got the email from Young Guns. Young Guns, that's a good looking CZ right there. I actually like that a lot. It looks almost more tungsten gray in this light, but
all right, well, we'll send it to me also, KS.
That's pretty darn cool looking. Yeah, I'll forward it to you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks
and Bald and Curious, he does have the Arsenal Strike 1, and yeah, that thing's going to be highly collectible. I've already seen the prices going
up. But they still sell the Strike 1s. They still sell those.
No, they've actually closed. They've shut that down. Now, people, hang on.
No.
People still bogarted them, but they're not making them anymore. They quit making them.
I'm telling you, they are. I know for a fact they're still making the Strike 1s.
We're talking about the old Strike 1s. Well, I don't know if they're not the Strike A and not the Strike A and Strike B.
No, I'm talking about Strike 1s. I'm talking about Strike 1.
They haven't made those in forever.
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
But no, there's people that still have them and they're selling them. Hell, I've seen them brand new, but they're from the old stock. They haven't. But yeah, they're really hard to find. And if you do find one, they want to. Yeah, the Arsenal Strike 1 is made by Salient now. Yeah, but I'm talking about the OG Strike 1s, the original ones.
Mile High is saying he's looking at the PO1 Omega and PO7 Urban Gray. The PO7 Urban Gray I just saw. I think it's on Gun Buyer. I think they're having a sale on those too, so you might want to check that out.
They just released a batch of them, and I almost bought one at Frontier a couple of weeks ago, but I have to say it had the worst trigger I've ever felt in my entire life.
What was it?
It was a PO7 Urban Gray. and it was almost like somebody stuck a couple of pieces of metal in the trigger. So you could it would grind, and it was nasty. It was probably about 13 pounds on its double action. It was nasty. So I'm sure it was a mistake. I'm sure it was a one-off deal, or maybe worked.
I felt them pretty stout, but they clean up. But yeah, I haven't felt one like that out of the box. That's crazy.
Hunts, I prefer the P10 over the P07. P10 without question.
Yeah, and also I think it's if you want a striker fire or a double action, single action, it depends on what you're looking for. But I think they're both going to be great guns. But
there's nothing wrong with either one of them. I mean, they're both great guns. I prefer, like, if I was going to go with a CZ, I just like having the metal frame bodies. Especially in that compact size. I mean, they just shoot really well. But everybody's different. You're gonna like.
Tell you what, man, I've put a lot of rounds through this P09 and even my P07, and I really do like them for a polymer double striker. Double strike, double action, single action.
Yeah, I saw a video earlier. I'm trying to think who the guy is. Ernst Langdon, is that his name or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know Harry knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Harry,
Langdon.
I think.
Yeah, PX4 or whatever.
Yeah. Well, he was making a video about why he thinks the double action, the traditional double action, is the better carry option. It was actually a pretty insightful video. I mean, he made a lot of really good points, and it made me start to think, maybe I should be going back to that. And then I said, no, I'm not going to start buying a bunch of double singles now and go crazy with that. But I will tell you, I do like the P10. But if there was a gun I was going to look at selling, I might actually sell that. Just because, I think for me, the CZ brand and everything else about it has always been that hammer. It's just something about it, that tradition. That's why I think I'm really favoring the metal bodied guns. But I don't think I'm going to be picking up a full size. But I would consider looking at a P07 in like an OD green frame or an FDE frame or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just answering a question for Dennis. Looks missing for me, but the P10 seems nice. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just reading all the comments here, trying to keep.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm trying to see if we've missed stuff. I want to make sure we answer as many as we can.
You guys are blowing up my email right now. Oh, okay. So Rabbi sent me some pictures of his 26.
So Harry is saying, after shooting his DAC SA guns, I'm not sold. Consistent trigger pull is still easier. Yeah, but I think sometimes, easier isn't always better. You know what I mean? It's like anything else. Easier gets you lazier.
Yeah. And a lot of people just like that one. That's why, sometimes, like what I was talking about before, people just have one gun and that's their go-to gun because they they just master that one gun. But me, I try to shoot striker fire, and double action, single action, just, and I know that I'm not going to carry a revolver. If I had to shoot one, if it was laying on the table and I had to grab it, I know how to shoot it. It probably wouldn't be the most accurate thing, but for me, I just like having a little more discipline, or making myself have a little more discipline with the double action, single action personally.
Music lovers asking a really weird question.
Oh my God. Yeah, I just saw that. So who is the sexiest of the three guys gun chat?
I mean, come on, you have to ask seriously.
It's got to be KS, man.
It's obviously me.
Yeah. KS has that baby face.
I'm certainly the nerdiest looking one of the bunch.
He's got the soft hands and the baby face, so I vote KS.
The very soft hands.
And he carries his gun and he carries his pistol in a Tic Tac box.
Yeah, he actually carries his gun in one of those little like fanny packs, like that little square fanny pack, and he puts a tiny little gun in there, and it actually looks like what is those colostomy bags?
I've got I'm in the city, so I've got a little purse. Okay.
Yeah, a man purse. He's got a
purse, but it's got a tactical patch on it. Okay.
Well, Steven voted for you, and Frank, I don't know. He's got 17 KS BJ. I don't know. Oh, I guess we're all okay.
I hope he wasn't saying that 17 should get or 17 KS should get a BJ from. I don't know. I don't want to even go there.
I'm out on that.
No, leave it alone.
That's where we can draw the line. You're out. Frank has been banned.
Hey, real quickly before I forget, Rabbi, it looks like you're getting that the rounds aren't ejecting at all, so it's trying to do a double feed. I take that slide apart and get that extractor out and clean it up and really inspect that whole chamber area. So there are a bunch of videos out there. Give that a try and see if that helps.
So
No, it
consumer,
is a block, right?
yeah.
What?
I'm just joking.
I know Consumo just asked me that I had my Shield video up, and he says that it's not showing. I actually re-uploaded it a while ago. The reason being is because when I uploaded it initially, I didn't edit it properly. So at the end of that video, you would have seen me making some really messed up faces and saying a bunch of profanity. So I saw it. I was like, holy shit. So I went back in, deleted it, and then re-uploaded the proper one. So I was making some weird faces, man. Because sometimes when I make videos, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I make them late because that's the only time I have. So a lot of times I feel like I'm falling asleep. So I was going like that, like weird ass faces, man. And then I was blowing through it, and I made a mistake, and then I just went off. I just went to town. Everything was F this, F you. I was giving the finger to the camera. So it would have made a great blooper reel, but no.
Yeah, you wouldn't get a strike.
Yeah, that would have been strike.
And I was gonna say, and also you forget, you're our hand model. You're supposed to only be doing tabletop reviews.
That's right. Frank said I have the nicest hands on.
Yeah, YouTube. You're the hand model.
It's funny though. Have you ever had comments that said, "Hey, we're tired of hand models. Don't do the hand model thing anymore"? Yeah. And my response is always, "Do you really want to see my face while I'm talking about a gun?" No, you don't. Nobody wants to see my face. You want to see the damn gun, and that's the way to do it.
The only reason why you're seeing more of my mug on the screen and like stuff like this is because I'm just too damn lazy to switch everything around. Because I'm using my webcam that's right here, and when I film a video, I'm using a camera up top, and then I got to get all the lights focused, and I'm like to the point now where I just don't give a shit anymore. I hate to say that, but it's true.
I've got to write Kevin a check. He said it has to be the guy with the best hair. So
there's nothing wrong with my hair, man.
Yeah. No, y'all don't have any hair. Shut up.
I got some. It's just very thin.
It's under your arms.
Yeah.
But so what do y'all have coming up on your channels? Anything fun and exciting?
KS, what do you got?
I agree, Mark, by the way, Mark. Absolutely nothing. So I've recorded the Scorpion video, I think probably 8 different times, and I don't like any of it. And I think part of it's because I couldn't do any install stuff. And so that kind of stole my thunder a little bit. That would have made 3 or 4 videos probably, but now it just has to all be built, of course, with the new rules. And it's boring as crap because it's a big gun. I can't really move it around very much. It's really too big to move around, so it just sits on the table. And basically, it's talking about the parts. And God, it's boring. It is absolutely, it's sinfully boring. And you guys, tell me if you want to see that. If you really want to see it, I'll throw something out there. But I think it's grossly boring. And so I've had no inspiration right now. I literally have 0 videos on deck. None. 0.
Wow.
Yeah, that's weird. It's first time since whatever, November 2015 or 16, I guess. I had nothing. There's no inspiration for anything right now.
Yeah, I've got actually Steven wants to see more Olight videos, 1776.
Well, they got to send me more stuff for free.
Yeah. But I got some videos that I hadn't even put out yet that I've had them stored up for a damn month, so I need to throw some of those out there. And I got some shooting I need to do, so hopefully I'll get to do that this weekend. I was going to do it today, but I couldn't get that done and then get back in time for this chat, so I had to choose the chat.
Milspec wants me to review my tactical MERS.
Yeah, I think you should.
Of them, all different colors.
Yeah, isn't yours rainbow color?
Right. And okay, so Rabbi was suggesting things like gear review, and that's a great suggestion. I really appreciate that. I will be honest with you, though. I try to be more of a gun channel. I mean, I've done some products. Yeah, I mean, we all kind of have to a little bit to fill some voids and get free stuff. But I'm I don't know. I struggle with that a little bit. We'll have to see. I'm sure some sort of inspiration will come to me at some point in time. But right now, it's just yeah. I'll scroll up Scotsman.
Yeah, I don't really have much going on either. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm in like a I guess a lull, so to speak. I don't really have the creative juices anymore. But I'll be honest with you, I've been crazy busy at work. You know, I was talking to these guys before, you know, we started streaming, you know, and they know what I got going on Friday. I mean, I just have a bunch of stuff going on. Plus, you know, since it's spring, my kids start to uptick with their sports, you know, so like this week, 3 nights of lacrosse, tomorrow's a game, Friday's off, Saturday, Army, Navy lacrosse at West Point. Sunday is a lacrosse game and a soccer game for my daughter. So it's just, I'm running out of time and there's just not enough hours in the day.
But, you know what, you could start actually, you could be a commentator on YouTube, go live and then commentate the lacrosse game.
Listen, man, I love lacrosse, guys. If you're not into it, you really should. It's a great sport. But you know, one of the things I was looking at, I just did the install on the Apex trigger for the Shield, which was a little more difficult than any of the others I did. But I think it was a manufacturing issue. The damn trigger bar would not click into the shoe because, you know, if you've installed it yourself, usually the pin on the shoe will actually stick out a little bit and you're able to click it in. This wouldn't do it. So I actually had to drive the pin in a little bit. And then I drove it in too much, so I'd actually punch it out a little bit. So it took me a little longer, but so far so good. I haven't shot it yet, so I got to shoot that. You know, I still haven't even done a video on the FDE M&P 4 1/4 that I have, which is awesome. So there's like a couple of things here and there, but I don't really have much going on, man. I think for me, I think I'm going to slowly just pop a video here and there. You know, just go from there, do some live chats with you fellas, obviously. Maybe continue doing the individual chat. I don't really know. I really don't know. You know, whatever comes to my head.
It's good to have time, you know, away sometimes. I mean, we all need a little bit of breaks here and there. So.
Well, I think part of it also, I mean, you know, walking around a gun store, I mean, I've done this quite a few times. And although I did get a new gun last night,
what did you get?
There's been basically no inspiration. There has been nothing that's been really exciting. I decided to get one on my long-term wish list, and that's actually, and I've got it here. It's actually a Legion 220.
45.
45, big old 45, because I still like the 45 quite a bit, and I love the Legion. I think the Legion series is amazing. So that was kind of a wish list sort of thing, but it probably won't be a YouTube gun. I mean, you know, people have seen all the 220s and everything, so it's not nearly as exciting anymore as it used to be. But yeah, they're just walking around a gun store. It's like, God, I mean, they're neat guns. Don't get me wrong, but it's not something where I want to fork over a bunch of money and get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, same here. I mean, I go to them quite a bit, and it's just like, oh, seen that, done that, you know, held that, don't want that.
I think that's a lot of it right now. There's just nothing really inspiring out there.
Yeah.
But I guess that's a good thing we can say that. You know, I mean, we're fortunate, we're lucky. You know, there's some people who don't have that, and I'm glad I have what I have, and I'm glad I'm able to say, well, you know, nothing really is inspiring me to burn more money.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting, you know, when Harry and I go to the NRA show in Dallas, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what they have coming up, or even like a prototype or anything that we can kind of see that might get us excited. You know, I'm interested in going to the booths, and even not just necessarily guns, but even gear or stuff for guns. You know, I'm kind of a geek when it comes to that too. So it'll be interesting to go and kind of see if there's anything new, or if it's just the same old shit that we're dealing with now.
Now, Harry's question really quick before we get going here, fellas. He's saying he knows BJ's thoughts, but what do you, KS Gun Guy in 1776, think? Should he get the PX4? So what do you think quickly, KS?
I've handled one, I think 3 or 4 weeks in a row at Frontier. They've got one that's sitting there. It looks really cool, but I don't like the way it feels in my hand. I can't get behind that personally, but that's a personal thing. Everybody's hands are different, and almost everybody says they're amazing guns. So if it feels good in your hand, you'll probably like it.
You know, I was looking at the compact and the all FDE model, and I liked it, but then I saw a PCR and I liked that better. So I wound up getting it. So I mean, the PX4 has always intrigued me, but it's just not enough of a gun for me to jump on. It's just not.
Yeah. And people that don't know my opinion, I know Harry does, but I mean, the gun's been out for a really long time, nothing against the gun, but I don't really know if it's that relevant anymore. I think there's other guns that have surpassed it. And I know that it does have, you know, I mean, it has, you know, all different kinds of things going for it. And everybody says it's an amazing shooter, but it's kind of a chunky monkey. And I don't ever see it fitting a role for me to actually buy it.
If you're looking for something small, go with get a Rammy. That's a pretty good looking gun.
Rabbi, you're
Rabbi. Yeah, that's no. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you, sir. Your uncle is a bad man.
I just read the comment. Holy crap!
Oh boy,
Rabbi, I appreciate you.
Well,
buddy.
listen, you know, that's the comment of the night, and I think with that we're going to close it off.
Yeah, that one's definitely yeah. Okay.
All right, guys. So it's been fun. Again, if you haven't checked out the channels of people on here, please do so. We really appreciate everybody who comes by. We have 67 on right now. And I always feel that that's pretty impressive for 3 guys who, you know, don't have really any dog in the race sometimes. So I think that's great. So appreciate you guys being here with me, and we'll do it again very soon.
Later, guys. Thanks,
everyone. Carry on.
Good night, everybody.